What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Thomas Take Sports Podcast today, 2-hour edition of the Thomas Take. We are past the first hour as I'm joined by Eric Ellis, a longtime buddy of mine. I've been wanting to get him on the show for quite some time, finally making that happen. We put out some interesting takes on some of sports' biggest topics, and here comes another one. We're going to talk about the city of Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas, everybody. The NFL will have a football team, I think, and the NHL already does have a football team, or a hockey team, my bad. The NHL will be introducing the Las Vegas Golden Knights. I'm anticipating that it'll be a big success for the league. Eric, what is your take on Vegas bringing in a NHL squad and possibly the Oakland Raiders moving to Las Vegas?
It's very interesting, man. It's really just crazy to think about. I think them bringing in a new NHL expansion team is a great idea. I think that the moving of the Raiders to Las Vegas, I think it's very sad for Oakland, honestly, just because I feel bad for California. San Diego lost their football team to go to L.A., which is already at the Rams. I don't really see the point in that. But that's another issue for a different topic, I think.
Well, you could we'll definitely add into that. You know, I feel bad for Oakland. I do. And I've said this a bunch of times. I feel bad for Oakland, but to a degree, it's kind of like they have it coming. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that Oakland has needed a new stadium for at least 20 years. And the city will not put up the money to build the stadium. And the fact that the Raiders have had to share a stadium with the Oakland Athletics, who are one of the lowest budgeted payroll teams in Major League Baseball, it's just very bad. And I feel bad for Oakland. They deserve it. They're the Raider Nation. They deserve to have their team. I wouldn't want the Oakland Raiders to leave. But if one team could move to Las Vegas, for the Raiders to move there, it would be pretty big time. I'm pretty excited about it. If it does happen, I hope it does. I think it's going to. The league's decided to do a league vote sooner than what was expected in the coming weeks at the NFL owners meeting. So these NFL owners are greedy, old bastards. They want as much money. They want as much money in their pockets as they can, any which way they can get it. They don't care. I mean, they really don't. They don't care about the fans. They as much as they say they do. Like, we'll just say, for example, like Terry Pegula. He wanted the Buffalo Bills to stay here, but he knew damn well that the Bills would turn a profit. It wasn't a bad investment. It was an over. They know what they're doing, and I think these owners know what they're doing in a sense that, hey, if we bring a city like Las Vegas, a football team, it's only going to make our pockets deeper. It's only going to make the net worth of our team skyrocket, and it'll be very interesting. Do you think that Marshawn Lynch could be one of the last Mohicans of the Oakland Raiders?
I think it's very interesting to see. This whole thing is just kind of weird because if you know the whole story, it's that he's still technically under contract with the Seahawks.
For the next 2 years.
years. And his retirement actually, I guess it wasn't really a retirement.
It was like a frozen settlement.
Yeah, the Seahawks were kind of like, oh, well, if you don't want to be here anymore, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. So it's just odd to me, like, how this is going to turn out. And especially since we know that Marshawn's originally from Oakland, around that area. And I think that's why he wants to come to Oakland, so he can play where he lives.
Yeah, for sure.
So if this move happens to Las Vegas, I'm not 100% sure that Marshawn will still be a part of the Raiders if this deal were to ever come into fruition.
The thing with this is that it won't. If it does go through, if the owners approve it, if it's 16 or 17, 17 votes is what they need. If 17 owners vote for it to happen, which if in putting it in that terms, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. So it won't happen though until like 2019 or 2018. So they would have one full season left in Oakland. If Marshawn Lynch wanted to come back, it would be a pretty badass way for Oakland to go out and for Lynch to go out with one last year. For him in Oakland, him in his career, and one last year in the last season in which the Raiders are going to play. It'd be pretty sweet.
Be interesting. I agree. I don't know if it'll happen for sure.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Though anything can happen.
I think we both thought that once Lynch retired that he was going to stay retired. I did. I thought that he was having too much fun doing the Xbox commercials and being on Conan O'Brien and stuff like that. I thought that he wouldn't come back, but the Las Vegas thing could throw some wrinkles into it. One dynamic that I thought of about the Raiders getting Vegas and the Golden Knights going to Vegas, the NHL creating that new team in the National Hockey League. Could gambling become a problem for younger players? Could the city become a problem? I would hope not, but only time will tell, really. There's no way of knowing, right?
That's the thing. I've done a little bit of research on it, and Las Vegas, the city itself, per year makes, from the Nevada Gaming Commission, makes about $129 million. That's what the city makes from gaming. Non-gaming revenue goes by $97.8 million. So the idea of them bringing in an NHL team and an NFL team, it's pretty big.
It would big. Blow that up.
It'd be huge. It'd be huge.
It'd be something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Make your statement about gaming and the bets and the money that they would make. It increased exponentially. I mean, here's a weird thing. Here's another thing about Las Vegas. You know what the population is there? Last time it was measured, I think, in 2013, it was 603,000.
It's not that big.
No, but guess what Buffalo's is compared to Las Vegas?
It's 400, maybe?
258. That's what it was 3 years ago, at least.
Wow.
So compared to
more
that, it's probably expanded a little bit more in the last 4 years.
You know what? I do remember, towards when we were done with high school, I remember looking up, for some reason, because I thought the Bills were going to move to Toronto. That's probably why. I looked up the population of Toronto and compared it to Buffalo, and it was 280,000 for Buffalo, 8 million for Toronto. And if Vegas is going to have a team, I don't ever see Toronto getting an NFL team, but I never thought Vegas would get an NFL team. So for me to not think Vegas would get an NFL team, and then for that to possibly happen, Toronto could be next.
But not to segue into that, but the idea that the NFL is now doing the London games. Yeah. I don't know what the NFL is thinking. If they want to expand more teams to the NFL and include future teams in Toronto, London. Who knows? Even Australia could be an option at this point.
The purpose of the league was for it to be the National Football League for the United States of America. It was the American Football League and the National Football League merged to form the NFL in the 60s, and now it is so greedy that they want to expand it to a new level. And I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if by the time we're 40, I'll be 25 in April, you're 25 now, I wouldn't be shocked when we're 40, 45, if there was 36 teams instead of 32, or 38 teams instead of 32. And that is insane. That could change the dynamic of the whole league. Maybe it won't happen, but the way it's looking with all the, like you said, the London stuff, the Toronto, possibly when the Bills were having that series there, Toronto was 1 foot in the door getting the Bills. That was close.
They were very close.
And it would have probably happened had that series been successful. It would have been really hard for even Terry Pagula, a multi-billionaire, to outbid the Rogers communication guys. They are trillionaires. They are some of the wealthiest guys on the planet. Mm-hmm. So it would have been really hard. And I'm happy that it didn't work out. I didn't think it would. I
am glad we stopped the Bills.
Yeah, but it. I'm happy for Vegas though. I feel like Vegas is obviously the biggest fight city in the world.
Oh, definitely.
Within boxing and within the UFC, and I'm happy that they finally have a chance to be a major player in two of the biggest leagues. I mean, the NHL is obviously not as big as the NFL, but worldwide, the NHL has more of a grasp on things than the NFL does because they get players from Europe and every country around the world pretty much. So, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Now, if you were to say, what are the chances of it? You think that, as I do, I think there's a 90% chance that they're going to move. Where would you put it? Percentage-wise, as far as the Raiders moving to Vegas?
I'd say it's very high.
Yeah.
I would say you're right, and I think their owners are all, not all of them, I'd say a majority will vote to have them move to Vegas.
But like in a room with Jerry Jones and Arthur Blank and Robert Kraft, those are the three main guys that I can think of. Those guys are, as much as I'm not a Dallas fan, as much as I'm not a Falcons fan, as much as I'm not a Patriots fan, those three guys are geniuses for what they've done for the NFL and for their teams especially.
Right.
It'll be very interesting to see. I can't imagine those guys saying no to that. I just can't picture it.
It doesn't also really affect them, essentially. It's not their team that's moving.
It does affect them in a sense that it could... by them bringing in a Las Vegas team in an NFL owners meeting, it'll definitely boost the net worth of the teams around the league for sure. Like that's what happened even when Terry bought the Bills. It went from their average, their worth was $850 million, and Terry paid over $500 million of that price. $1.42 billion or whatever it was. So every team in the leagues went. Net worth went up because of that. So it'll be very interesting.
I definitely agree with the revenue and the idea of net worth. I was just suggesting that the owners don't have to deal with the.
Well, they don't have to deal with that's another thing. Like if they move there, what is the state? Where's the stadium going to be? How much is going to be invested? Who's going to be investing in?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
One thing that I am interested in is, will the Fertitta brothers, the former owners of the UFC, will they have any interest in it? They're $4 billion richer as of this past year, so it'll be very interesting to see. But I know for a fact that I am very excited, and I am pretty sure Eric would be excited too about the prospects of us going to a Las Vegas Raiders Buffalo Bills game.
Oh, definitely.
That'd be pretty awesome. So that is our take on the Las Vegas Raiders joining the NFL. The Golden Knights are obviously, it'll be very interesting to see how that pans out. I don't know how their players will come in. What are the rules and stipulations, being that the last time when this does happen, there's like an expansion draft of players that are already in the league, or the teams send 2 players each packing. I don't know how that's going to work. Only time will tell. So
exactly.
Stay tuned. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that. So tune in for the next part of the Thomas Take, as I'm joined by Eric Ellis. We're going to talk about longtime Buffalo News columnist, sports writer Jerry Sullivan's take on the GM of the Buffalo Bills, Doug Whaley, in an article that basically read that he should be sent packing.
You don't want to miss this.